If you're ready for a painting sketchbook session and you open up your sketchbook and you're just not sure where to start, it can feel really overwhelming to just stare at a blank page or scroll endlessly through Pinterest inspiration. So here are 5 easy exercises that I love to do to get my creative juices flowing and add some color to my sketchbook. Our first exercise is to simply test your colors by adding paint swatches. By testing out all of your colors and mixing them, you can see exactly what your colors will look like, and this is a great reference to look back on in your sketchbook as you work through other pieces in your sketchbook. I know it seems really simple, but just painting out all of your colors is extremely helpful to reference back to when you're looking for that perfect next color. And you'll find this to be a great warm-up if you aren't sure where to start. Having a basic swatch is extremely helpful to know what the base color looks like. Often the color of the paint will look completely differently once dried, so I always reference my swatches. If you've already swatched your paint, take some time to explore different color palettes and color mixes. Have fun, stay loose, and don't be afraid to really experiment and make mistakes. Try using some colors you don't normally pick or combining colors that you don't get to use very often. This sort of color exploration could lead to some really interesting combinations that you'll want to use in your next piece. And it can really help get your creativity flowing and just get used to your materials again so you're ready to keep painting. For our next exercise, try using another form of exploration by changing the tools and textures you use. Try different ways of using your paintbrush or applying the paint in a different way. Perhaps you even have a sponge or other tool that you can use to add texture and try out different ways of applying your paint. Maybe you even use your fingers or maybe a scrap piece of cloth. There are so many materials you can use to be your paint applicator, and it's so much fun to try them all out, see how it changes what the paint looks like and how the added textures kind of just change your piece. And so just use some time to explore these things. Here I'm trying both wet and dry brush strokes. I can also tap the brush on my finger to create some splatters, and I played with a cut up kitchen sponge, and I really love how those textures turn out. There's suddenly so much more depth to the page because of all of these fun textures. Use this time to explore and amplify your painting work in the future. Or you can even make all of these textures and all of this paint and actually draw over them. It's kind of a fun dimension to your sketchbook and to your drawings if you have some sort of colorful painted background in the back. And exploring with these textures always just creates such a beautiful sketchbook spread. Our third exercise is timed painting. I am always a huge fan of timing yourself to learn to be loose and make decisions quickly. As a recovering perfectionist, I've found this exercise to be the most impactful to my growth. Learning to make decisions quickly and to just keep moving forward has led to some really lovely breakthroughs in my own personal work. Timing yourself can help you build confidence. It can definitely seem daunting at first, but the more you set these limitations, the more comfortable you'll get with just trusting your gut and taking action. It might take you a few tries to really loosen up, but once you do, I know you'll discover some really powerful creative insights. So test yourself with a 1-minute painting, a 5-minute painting. Maybe you give yourself a whole 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Just set a timer and see what you can actually accomplish in those time limits. You might be really surprised what you can come up with. For the next exercise, instead of limiting your time, let's try to limit your colors. Choose just 3 colors and paint using those. Mix them to discover what you can achieve with just a few colors. If you still aren't comfortable with just 3, you can always choose a couple more, maybe 4 or 5, but limit your palette so you can start stretching those color mixing muscles. To start out, I recommend choosing a blue, red, and yellow for some variety. These will easily help you create a variety of mixes, but even choosing 3 different types of green or 3 different types of orange could create a really fascinating value painting. It's so much fun to work within these types of constraints, and I find that these limitations can actually be the key to freeing up your exploration. Last but not least is the exercise of using the wrong colors. Paint a landscape or an object using colors that you don't usually use and that don't represent the actual color of your reference. Try painting a green sky or blue grass. Here I'm using unusual hair and skin color to paint this reference. I can tell I'm not as familiar trying to find values in these colors. But this is such a great way to really do something different and learn about colors I might not use as often. It's a fun little challenge that I find really just opens up my eye to the possibility of using different color combinations and trying different things if I'm not trying to be super realistic. So hopefully these exercises will not only help you fill your sketchbook, but also help you build your painting skills. Let me know which exercise you'll be trying next, and check out this video for more ways to fill your sketchbook. Happy painting, and I'll talk to you all soon.